Welcome into SportsSource.tv. This is our overtime segment. We do this each week after the show, and you can watch it whenever you want. I don't know what time it is when you're watching. It's the internet, but we appreciate you for joining us. This segment always brought to you by Smokin' Joe's. I enjoy the occasional cigar, and the place I go to get my occasional cigar, Smokin' Joe's. They have a tremendous selection. They've been around a long time. 2 locations. The original store on Paper Mill right there, and then the newer store down in Alcoa. Great stuff, and the folks are very, very nice. Mike Hicks and his family do a great job. Smokin' Joe's and SmokinJoesTobacco.com is the website to learn more. Okay, joined by my all VFL panel here, Sterling Hinton, good Sterling versus Evil John. And I just want to say this again, since we talked about it a little on the show. We were extra critical these first 3 games. Doesn't mean we didn't count them as wins, but these are games you should win. If you're seeing issues now, I think it's important to point out this could bite your butt, that could bite your butt, this could bite your butt when you get into SEC play. Now, if you take this same Tennessee team and play the exact same game next week as the Ohio game, just as ugly, but they do it against Florida, exact same game, we're celebrating. We're going to let the fans have a big old day. These first 3 games, though, this is when you're trying to figure out what you got. So that's why I'm evil and you're nice. Right over there, Will Overstreet, former Vol Bobby Scott down there, and former Vol from last year, Kyler Kerbyson down there on the far end of the table, never to surrender that seat back to Daniel Hood. And Daniel's the one that said, hey, man, I can't make it next week. Why don't you call Kyler? I'm like, well, you just sealed your own fate. Sealed your own fate. All right. As we said, Tennessee 3-0, but it wasn't pretty. Still counts, absolutely. Rather be 3-0 than 0-3. You know, somebody said those are the worst 3-0 team in the country. Better than being the best 0-3 team in the country.
or the best 1-2 like Notre Dame.
Or 2-1.
Hey.
3-0 is better than any of that. Like that said, I think I know where 3 of you are going to go. then we'll see where Willie Raincloud goes. But
Willie Raincloud. I like that one.
We got Sunshine Sterling and Willie Raincloud. Is this team entering this stretch? And I think this question might be tweaked by the fact that Florida's going to the backup quarterback. If I ask this and they've got their starting quarterback, I wonder what your answers would be. But is Tennessee in this 4-game stretch, if you had to bet the house, closer to 4-0, closer to 0-4 against Florida, at Georgia, at A&M, than Alabama? Sunshine Sterling.
I'll go first. I'm betting the house at 4-0. I just think we've got
5-0 in these next 4 games.
Take that too. 5-0 with 4 games. I just think we've got a good team. I think good teams find ways to win games. We haven't played our best football yet, and we still won. There are teams out there right now that have been ranked ahead of us are now 1-2. We're 3-0, man, and we're a good team, and we're going to find a way to continue to win. That's what I believe.
Willie Raincloud.
I mean, listen, I am a fan of the Vols and everything, but if I had to honestly pull back and say, take your fan out of it, look at what's happening on the field. You're dropping the ball a lot. You've been lucky and you recovered them all for yourself. Your offensive line still has issues. They're not able to protect the quarterback. Your special teams has been a little less than lackluster. You just got a bunch of guys hurt that are all SEC, All-American players.
On the same side of the ball.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I have to lean closer to your 0-4 than 0-3 and then 4-0. I mean, that's just what we're going up against does not match up well. Texas A&M with their pass rush, Alabama and their pass rush. You know, Florida and Georgia are your games of like, yeah, you can win those, but those other two do not match up well with what you're not doing well right now.
Bobby Scott, closer to 4-0, closer to 0-4.
I have to go with Will. I think right now, until I see a more consistent, team out there on the field and everything, I mean, I can't go anywhere else.
All right. Tyler Kerbyson, I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4-0. I have confidence in all my former teammates. I think they're the best guys out in the field. But here's the thing. Would you rather have those mistakes, the drop balls, the sacks let up in the first 3 games or these next 4?
If you can
I agree.
We want them in these 3, not those.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, if I have to say if those trends continue, we don't have a good.
But you need to make mistakes. You need to fail to become better.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
And those are all correctable.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Wouldn't you rather?
But they haven't corrected them in the first 3 games.
Yes, and that's the thing. If there was a sign that this was just the first 3 games, and now the last 4, the next 4 you're not going to see
Well,
it. Okay, but I haven't seen
there
that
might
sign
be a
yet.
sign this coming week that was just the first 3 games because you have a different mentality going into SEC play. There's different seasons inside of a season.
Go to the wide shot.
Omen.
Yeah.
That's my time.
The bell tolls.
Who's the one that forgot his phone?
That was
there
me.
you go, Bobby.
There
it
are
is.
different
There it is.
seasons.
My wife called.
There are
That's a
different
sign.
seasons inside
That's
of
a
a season.
sign. You're going to beat Florida. That's a sign.
That's the sign they're going to win, okay?
That's right.
And there it goes again.
Dang.
It's his wife.
So leave him alone.
I'm just
Didn't
going to let
get
it
it turned off now, guys.
Two
Sit on
signs
those.
we're
All
going to
right.
beat Florida.
Here we go. Tell her she called at the right time during the overtime segment. It's the internet. Who cares? How many times have you guys been on a team, though? All right, they're going to get better. They're going to turn this corner. You are 1/4 of the way through the season. There's no question. Teams do improve. They get better as the season goes on. How many times have you guys been on a team, though, that played 3 games, didn't look great, and then all of a sudden they become
You turn it on.
Yeah, all of a sudden a switch gets flipped, and you're everything you were supposed to be. Has that happened much for any of you, college, pro, wherever?
Happened to me in high school.
All right.
College, 89 team. We barely
From
beat
88 to 89.
Well, I'm the 89, the 89 team. 88 to
You were
89,
ele-
but our 89 team.
You were 11-1. You didn't
Yeah,
start
but
bad.
how did we start it? We barely beat Colorado State. We did handle our business against UCLA,
Yeah.
but we didn't play too well against Duke.
That's
and we
true.
beat Duke. We barely beat Georgia, which was our homecoming game.
Yeah.
And so,
But that
we
team
didn't-
went
we
out
didn't-
to UCLA and won 24-6.
We wasn't losing
My
on my
man scoring
birthday.
a touchdown.
We wasn't gonna lose on my birthday.
Yeah.
That was their problem. I'm just saying they had an issue they didn't know about. But I've been on that team where people didn't think. And look at the national championship team. We started out 3-0.
No, that doesn't compare to this, though, Sterling. There's no.
Syracuse went to a BCS bowl game and had the Heisman
Yeah.
Trophy.
We didn't know that at the 3rd game.
It's a,
They ran.
well, you
they
watched
ran
Don
the
McNabb
formation.
game.
yeah, I don't think
We
Happy
did
State's
all-pro.
going to wind up in a BCS bowl, in a playoff bowl this year.
They ran the I
For who
formation too.
the bell tolls.
Have you guys ever been on a team that completely flipped the switch like that? Looked as, putting the ball on the ground 11 times in 3 games and then all of a sudden stopped and cleaned it all up?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
Okay.
My last 2 years.
Boom.
I mean, it is how it is. Our first 6 games, we were 2-4, and then we won out last year.
Yeah, but
So it's
not in the stretch where you had, no offense, 9 wins is 9 wins. I've upset him with that comment. He repeated it. But here's the thing. Those losses came against the meat. You had to turn things around. I think that's a ton of credit to the team, and I've said that on the show, that one of the things you see in a Butch Jones team is they don't quit. I mean, their backs get against the wall, people start booing, shows start griping. They don't quit. So that's a positive. But at the same time, the win streak last year didn't include Florida, Georgia, Texas A&M. That's a monster run.
Tough run.
I think that's going to be
is.
tough to flip that. But the last 2 years, he says.
Bang, bang.
So there you go. What else did I want to hit you with? One thing yesterday where they did kind of hurt themselves, I thought it was the hidden play of the game, really. You come out, you score, you go 55 yards in 3 plays, you score in under a minute, you got all the momentum, you're finally off the schneid, you go out there on defense, you stop them, face mask. You get the Todd Kelly Jr. face mask call before the ball is kicked, so it's like a turnover. Ohio gets the ball back, 15-yard penalty. They then, from that point on, with the aid of one other penalty on a 3rd down, they then, from that point on, run a drive that takes 20 minutes in real time, which kills your offensive momentum. They drive down, they get their own points, which gives them a little belief. And even though it's football and you get hurt on any other play, Cam Sutton was on the field because they didn't get off the field on that punt, and it's when he got hurt. That face mask call was a monster play in that game if you look at it, because I think Tennessee, it certainly looked like their offense sat over there and kind of got cold on the sidelines when they came back in. If you don't have that face mask penalty, I wonder where that game goes. And there are those hidden plays in all kinds of games, every game. But to me, that play really stood out as, wow, you had everything going right. That happened, and now it's like everything went discombobulated. Anybody else stand out? That stand out to anybody else or no?
Penalties to do that every game.
In offense, you try to get in a rhythm, and if you're sitting over there for 20 minutes on the sideline, it's got to affect you.
They had the same problem with Appy State. They were sitting over on the sideline a lot in that game.
Yeah, they controlled the
And
time
Appy
of
State was
possession.
controlling the time of possession. They only had 4 drives in the first half, and for up-tempo offense, you need more than that to get going.
I had a question from a viewer earlier on Twitter. I'll check this again while you guys answer this. Once they announced that ESPN Game Day is coming to Knoxville, I was asked to ask the players if that's a distraction for the team. Can that be a distraction for the team?
No, man. The game ain't no time like Showtime. What's in the game is in the game. ESPN Game Day is not in the game. It's for the fans. And what? Our fans deserve ESPN Game Day here every week, as far as I'm concerned. Let's go.
If you get distracted when you're about to play Florida in this game, and that's your distraction, then you weren't going to win this game anyways. That's just another excuse.
Let me give you a couple of quickies here then, all right? Who has the best chance to win the SEC East if picking right now?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I think they've got a good chance. I don't know if it's the best.
I think it's all kind of jumbled right now. I would have said Florida before the quarterback got
That's
hurt.
what I was going to say. If you got to beat the champ to take him out. Right now, they're the East champs.
Alabama keeps hiring staff, keeps hiring offensive coaches and consultants. They brought in Kiffin. Now they brought in Steve Sarkisian, who's, Kiffin was brought in just to aid some things, and then he became the offense coordinator. Now Sarkisian's coming in to aid things, and he might be the guy that replaces Kiffin. Somebody asked, should Tennessee start hiring more of these guys? Alabama's got a whole lot of this.
They got a lot more cheese.
So, let's see here. Let's see if I can find another one. This is good television right now. It's a good thing it's the internet. Are we streamed to Middle Tennessee? Yes, you're watching us there now. Anyway, last thing, Kyler. For years, Tennessee has had this Florida thing hanging over their head. Tennessee fans know that during the Majors era, it was Alabama. The team would just pucker up against Alabama. You know it. You were part of it. Under the former years, it was Florida. And here's the thing. Tennessee may be due against Florida. People look back at that 98 team, no offense, and they think, oh, Tennessee killed them. Needed 5 turnovers, missed field goal in overtime. Maybe Tennessee is just due against Florida. But for years, Florida was the team that got everybody nervous at UT. It's still been that way. Is it that way for the team now? I don't know that Butch Jones walks around with the way that Fulmer did Florida or Majors did Alabama, but is there – you guys know it's Florida week. You know Jalen Tabor is popping his jaws. You know you haven't beaten him in 11 years. You know the country expects you to. How much pressure is there? Is there added pressure?
There's always pressure. And because it is a rival, that's the game that you want to win. And they know that they're on a losing streak. They understand that it's been 11 years, and they don't want it to keep going. So they're going to come in with a ticked-off attitude, and that's how you have to play this game because Florida's going to do the same thing. This is one of the most aggressive, physical, talking, hating each other game that I've ever been a part of and that ever is in Tennessee.
Last year when Florida was making its comeback from 2 scores down, was there any point when you guys are sitting there thinking, oh, God, here it comes? Did that ever creep into anybody's minds? We've been here before, uh-oh.
Things happen in a game where, momentum changes and it goes to the other team, and naturally, as a human being, you're going to think bad things. When it was 4th down and long and they caught the pass and scored a touchdown, my first reaction was, oh no, like what's going on? But then it was, I have to play now. I have to go back out in the field and try and win this game. So whatever happened. I need to pay attention to what I need to do. Mm-hmm. And we drove down the field, got in field goal range. So I did what I was supposed to do out there on the field. Now it's up to these guys to be able to take punches because punches are going to come and get back up and throw on themselves.
Very good, guys. I would go all day, but I'm sure my crew wants to get the hell out of here. Kyler Curbis and I hope people at home understand just how tough that is for a young man to walk out here. It's your coaches, it's your players over there, and it happens to be your unit that's the focus of all of us.
Yeah.
And we're saying mean things on and off set, probably meaner offset. So I just thank you for not breaking any legs here today. So thank you very much. Bobby Scott, always fun to have you. Will Overstreet, Sterling Hinton, thank you very much. Will, I'll see you Thursday.
Yep.
Fox 43, The Sports Source, kickoff, 7 p.m. Set your DVRs to watch it. See you next Sunday for a big one on Channel 6 WATE. It's either going to be a party or an Irish wake.
Party.
Party.